So this is a video I've been meaning to do for a while, and that is a Goon Runner rig walk around. So last time we talked about it, I was actually out in Arizona when we were doing the first part of the build. Since then, quite a few things have happened. A few things have changed on it, and I think we're on like Goon Runner version 2.0. So there's some more changes coming in the future, and you know, kind of in fashion with like kind of what's going on with this channel, that showing more of my life and more things that I'm into outside of just shooting. So shooting is obviously a big part of why many of you follow this channel, but there's more to it than just that. So as I get to travel for photo shoots and for video and doing average Joes across America, like that may become a thing again in 2023, who knows? But as we prepare for that hypothetical situation, there's going to be some more changes coming to the Goon Runner. So I wanted to show you guys kind of where we're at now and then talk about some of the changes that I'm hoping to make in the near future. So we'll start at the front, give you a full rig walk around, and then we'll talk a little bit about what's coming in the future. Before we get into like the full breakdown of what we've got going on, a little bit behind why I built the rig out and how it all started. So big thank you to Jay and the guys over at State 48 Overland. Jay actually reached out and kind of is the one who kind of sparked the idea to get it going. Like, it's something I had thought about, but he's the one who kind of actually pushed me to kind of get it going. But the reason that I've started building out the Goon Runner the way that it is because one, of my job as a photographer, videographer, I travel a lot with a lot of gear. So it's easier for me to drive with the gear than it is to fly. And then two, a lot of times, like we do our range days and I'm going to average Joes across America or to training and things like that, it's easier for me to carry all the gear in my truck than it is to try to fly with it. So it's also a place I can stay, I can sleep in it, whatever. It's basically my mobile office, and that's kind of the thing, but it's also my daily driver. So it has to still be functional in a like daily driving capacity, and it can't be too crazy, which is why I don't have certain things on there that other like true overlanders have. I like the idea, the concept that Fieldcraft has when they talk about mobility, and that's really what this rig is for me. It's a mobility rig to be able to get from one place to another, not necessarily overlanding for the sake of overlanding. So where we left off with State 48 Overland was they put in an Icon Stage 7, they did the re-gear. We did wheels and tires at the time, but that changed. So going from the front, what's really changed on it is now we have the DeMillo Off-Road. This is their Baja style front bumper, and we're running the Baja Designs, so full Baja Designs lights. We're doing the S8 on the light bar. We've got some fogs down here and then some LP6s up top. Now this bumper was, I think, only the second one in production. I think more people now have it, but I love the style of it. And it was actually supposed to be the light bar cutout in here, and this was going to go in there, and then I was going to put two LP6s, but I got sent the wrong one, and that's okay because it actually worked out better, because now I have better winch access here, and I actually like that. And then we tucked away the light bar here, moved the LP6s up top, and then I snagged two extras from State 48 and got those up there, and I love how it came out. One question I get a lot is why the amber lights. And driving out west, and even here in Texas when we get like the fog and it's real dusty here, the amber cuts through that a lot better, and the snow. So we'd had like the little snowmageddon thing or whatever here in Texas where nobody could drive, and I would drive my truck with the ambers on, and it cut through the snow. It was way easier to see than having just the white lights. Skids, I forgot who makes the skids, but I have full skids under. I will put that here. So here you can see the Icon Stage 7. One thing you'll notice is that we now have the Total Chaos, their lower control arms. Toyota of Irving and the Off-Road Place put those on locally here, and those are a little bit beefier, a little bit better, and they set me up for some things I want to do long term with the Goon Runner. So big shout out to Toyota of Irving. They do all my service local, and actually Brandon Voss Shabos, may he rest in peace, he's since departed from us. If he comments down below, it's simply because it's his ghost living on, reminding us about his memory that he'll live on forever. I'm sure he's blowing sick clouds up in heaven right now. He used to do all the work before he left, but those guys still handle all my service here locally. And that was one of the tough things, was State 48 is a great shop, but they're out in Arizona, so I needed a spot locally that could take care of all the stuff that I break. So I actually broke the actuator for my four-wheel drive on the front, and they were able to replace that and get me back out on the road. So they also put on these Method 703s, and then recently the Mickey Thompson Baja Bosses. So I had the Fury tires. Those had like 70,000 miles on them, had no issues. Had to get something swapped out, so tried the Baja Bosses. So far, road noise has been really great, way better than the Furies and the KO2s. I think these are kind of on par with the Wild Peak AT3s. So I think these are a good option, but I still need to get them on the trail to know for sure. Decided to go with the bronze 703s. Originally I had the black, but love how the bronze complements the blue. Up here we've got the Rego Fabrication ditch light mounts with Baja Designs. I went with the smaller ones because less wind noise, obviously, and then the 4 LP6s up top. Now those are going to be mounted on the AL Off-Road roof rack. A couple things I love about that roof rack. One is that it is wider than most roof racks, and then two, it sits really low, so no wind noise that comes out of it. I mean, there's very, very little, but I hear more from the ditch lights than I do from the roof rack. So I like that. The only issue I'm having right now is that the brackets at the back aren't the final version, so this is a prototype, and they don't sit correctly, and they're missing a bolt, so I can't really mount anything on top yet. So I'm going to reach out to them, see if we can get that finished, because that's kind of one of the holdups on the build, because I've got some things that need to go up there to clear out space inside, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Moving along, again, we've got DeMillo Off-Road rock sliders. Now I have the ones with the kickouts, and the reason for that was, one, they look good, but two, they also save these rear quarter panels, and I decided to go with the mesh on there, so my son doesn't fall through when he steps out. So coming around to the rear of the vehicle, we've got the tandem off-road rear bumper. Now this was, again, a prototype bumper, so it's somewhat done but not complete. There's still a couple things that need to be tweaked on it. Again, I'm going to work with them to try to finalize some of these, like this this arm right here. We're going to try to fix that so I can mount some stuff on there. Again, this is one of the holdups. There's some things that I want to mount on there that if I can do that, it'll clear up space inside, so I can add in some more things that I need as I travel across the US. So, but it's been great so far. Haven't had any issues with it. Love the clearance. Love how it lines up with the body lines and the looks of it. They did a really good job engineering and designing it. So inside we have the Dometic running off of the Goal Zero. I've got the Pro Eagle jack. I prefer to use the Pro Eagle over something like a High Lift, just because it's safer and it's more versatile for me, and it just works better. I've got all recovery gear here inside of the Fieldcraft bag. And then every tool I need to fix most things on the truck are in here. And then we've got the power tank to air up faster than a compressor and can run power tools or air tools. Fire extinguisher, because those are invaluable out on the trail. And then I've got a med kit here. I keep one at the back, so when we're on range, I usually have this open. I have my gear set out, and then we've got a med kit easily accessible. I've also got one in the front that I'll show you in a second. These are also, these MOLLE mounts are from Rego Fabrication. They're great. I hang these on here. Other MOLLE pouches I have go on here. I've got a blanket on this side, so when I'm sleeping in the truck, or my son is or whatever, it's easy to access. So this is some of the stuff that I want to move from inside the truck to outside. Mainly the jack and then the recovery gear and tools. If I can get those mounted on the swing out and then on the roof, then it clears out space to put drawers here, so like some goose gear or some custom made drawers. We can put those here so that I can put some of my equipment back here, or gun equipment, or whatever else I need, that it makes it easier for me to travel without having to throw it in the back seat. Inside, how I power all the lights is we have an S-Pod. So S-Pod's touchscreen, so I have it mounted down here. I didn't want it, I know some guys put theirs up here. I wasn't crazy about that because from the window you can see it, and I didn't want people to break in and try to steal it thinking it's a GPS or like a phone. And because I park a lot in cities because of my job, I just thought it was better down here. It's a little more discreet, easier to access for me. And then up here we have that's going to be the Fieldcraft visor panel. So I've got a med kit mounted in there, and then some extra cables for passengers if they need to charge gear or like phones or whatever, any of that. Winch controller is down in here, along with some other like little things. One thing I will note is I get questions about this on the trail. So shout out to the guys at State 48. I forgot who it was that had these, but these go on Amazon, order some of these, and they're just little brass air downs. And so I go around, put those on all 4 tires, airs down super fast at the head of the trail versus doing it one by one. And then in the front seat, I almost always have the Brave Castle with me because it's got a med kit on it. It's got a flashlight, multi-tool. And then if things get, a little crazy, it's got mags as well. So that's it for the most part. No rooftop tent at the time. Not really interested in it for the most part. Typically, I just fold all this down and I will sleep back here. My son and I can lay there and fit, and we'll sleep in the back, or we'll get a tent or a hotel. But yeah, that's it. That's the Goon Runner. That's where it's at right now. Obviously, I want to do some stuff on the inside, adding some goose gear in there. I want to get the roof rack finished out, the back finished out. I've got some chase lights to mount, but I can't mount those until the roof rack is finished. So there's a little bit of things to do here and there. I do want to go dual battery. I've thought about doing supercharger, but it's not practical for the amount of driving that I do and the distances I cover. But big shout out to the guys over at State 48 for getting me squared away. They did the Icon Stage 7, they did the re-gear, they helped me get most of the stuff ordered. And then big thank you to Toyota of Irving and the off-road place for helping me get everything squared away here locally and taking care of all the service. They've been a huge help, and they're awesome to go wheeling with. We've been going out wheeling together here locally and helping me when I break stuff or when I got hung up on one of the drop-ins. If you have any questions about the Goon Runner, leave it in the comments down below. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe and follow along as we continue to build this thing out.
How about me?
That's what I'm doing. Hey, do you like Daddy's truck?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Is it a monster truck?
Uh-huh.
Yeah? Do you want to make it bigger?
Uh-huh.
Yeah? Do you want to go get some pizza?
Yeah.
Okay, let's get some pizza. Can you say bye to everybody?